Put my mic on, that would work. That's the other, that's weird. Okay, gotta remember to do that. I've got a switch that mutes my mic. How's it going, guys? Just doing a quick round of testing tonight, since I think Ben is only going on a little later, so I figured I might as well do that now while nobody else is online, as far as I know anyway. If there is, let me know and I will shut her down. I just wanted to do a little bit of testing tonight with the aux and the guitar through the live stream, and going through a few of the actual setups to see if it'll all work and sound good. So in order to do that right, I've got to do it live and get some people's feedback. So that's why we're here. Oh, you got a few people in the chat already. We got Todd Soda Pop. How's it going, buddy? David Ennis. How's it going? Saw you guys in the Guitar Hack chat, I think, just a little earlier. Oh, that's cool. Todd Flowers, yes. How's it going? Janice. Yeah, we've got a few people in. Six or so people. So the purpose again is just to do a little bit of testing sound-wise and make sure everything goes through the system without crazy distortion and noise and feedback. We'll see how that goes. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. If you got any questions or anything in the chat, just go ahead and post that. I'm going to change my my angle here. Let me do that. I've got another little setup on this side on the back of me here with my iPad, so I can see the chat as well. So that'll be a good test to see if that'll work out, because that setup with me turned around the other way and having the iPad there is a lot easier for me to do a gear demo or to show a product or something, you know, of that nature, or actually playing. Because if I'm this way and I'm facing my monitors and all this electronic stuff, guitars that have like P90s or that have like the Strat that I'm playing tonight, the Friedman Strat, it's got single coils, and you know, it's depending on where you've got them, like you can hear that, right? But if I move back, then I lose that sound. So it's kind of the purpose of trying to do everything facing the other way. But if I'm faced the other way, I can't see the chat. So with this kind of setup that I've got rigged here tonight for the test, is having my iPad on a different stand in front of me, and then my camera, the back camera, then I can just turn around and still monitor stuff. I still can't see my camera shot though. That's the only thing I'd like to be able to do from that angle. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's, hey, Blackie DH is in here too. Cool, cool. We've got a few people, and that's cool. It was, again, this wasn't a planned thing. It was just a, I do that once in a while during the week. If I need to test something and I see that nobody else is on, then I'll jump on. So let me go ahead and change my angle here. We'll go to this angle, and if I turn around, still need to figure out a good wireless. I hate having headphones on, but it's the only way I can do it with when I'm playing guitar and stuff, because it's just kind of weird. Let me move my mic mute thing a little bit closer to me so that when I do play, I can just step on it. I gotta remember to unmute too. All right, there we go. There we go. Why am I getting, oh, it's because my cable is hitting my mic, sorry. Okay, so if I bring this iPad a little closer, I should be able to see the chat. How's that camera angle? Is that okay? Let me know if the camera angle is good, if the lighting is okay. You should be able to hear me picking there. What you're gonna hear is basically okay, I gotta do something with this cable because it's gonna drive me nuts, and it's gonna drive you guys nuts because it's gonna keep hitting the mic. So just bear with me 1 second here. There's gotta be an easy way to do this. Okay. If I take this and I bring the cable, there we go. All right, we'll get it, we'll get it. We'll figure this out. Okay, I'm gonna have to unplug this guitar for a second and put this back in. That's good, that's good. Now it should be all right. Okay, cool. You guys still there? Cool, all right. Okay, let me still get a little bit of sound, but it's not as bad as doing that. If I turn this way. All right, and the other thing I need to do is, on this computer, I need to pause that. There we go, perfect. Yeah, there's different places in the room that see, the sound, that hissing goes away there, and I bring it back here, and it just depends on the way I'm facing. The pickups that are in this Friedman are, I'm not sure what they're called. They're Friedman branded pickups. They make all their own pickups, so they're high-end single coil pickups, and then they've got a nice humbucker in there. It's a nice, it's a versatile guitar. I've been playing with it most of the week. I was doing some recording today for the next song that I'm doing, like my jamming series. I do these kind of cover songs and stuff, so I used it on a couple of parts in that, and it was nice to have the flexibility of the tones all built into one guitar. And it's, you know, it's an awesome guitar to play, but you can go from, let me just do this, let me just mute my mic. So that's what I like about this guitar. It's the feel of it. Obviously it's a nice neck, and the playability is really cool, but I like having the versatility in the sounds as well, so going from one extreme to the other is pretty easy. I'm just checking the chat here, and let me know in the chat how that sounded coming through YouTube. Okay, it sounded okay. I'm seeing a couple of things come through here. All right, that's what I need to know. I need to know because right now what's happening is this amp is plugged in to here, which is my aux box, and this is it's kind of a multi-function box. It's the company that makes it is Universal Audio, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know about this stuff, but Universal Audio is a huge player in the studio space. They make interfaces for all kinds of gears in professional studios. But last year they came out with this product, and this is specifically for guitar players that want to use their tube amp. And what this does, it does a couple of things that's really, really cool. So you plug your speaker out of here into here, and then from here you can plug into a cab, but you can also plug in at the same time. There's a line out. It's digital or analog. I've got it plugged in analog right now. I'm waiting for my digital cable to come in, but it hasn't come in yet. You go analog out of that into my interface and into the computer, which is what you're hearing. So right now my cab is off in the room. So this knob here gives you 5 levels of attenuation. So it can go from really, really quiet to wide open if you want to play with a cab. Or you can turn the cab off, and then you've got these things here, they're called rigs, and you can set that up with the software on the iPad or something. And that's the way I'm running through it now, using these rigs, and that gives you different cabinets, different mics, some reverb, some delay, compression and EQ settings. That you can all do that in the app, which is super cool. It's very easy, and it sounds amazing. I mean, the cab emulation is so dead on. You can get a 110 mic'd with an SM57 and a Royer or something like that, really high-end stuff. And you can even add room. Like they've got a knob here for room, so you can add another section where you just have 2 room mics to add in with your sound and to make one complete sound. Just like if you were in a studio where you'd have a room specifically for recording guitar, and you would have all these cabinets available and all these mics. So that's the type of idea this is. It also has a headphone out with a headphone volume if you wanted to play with it that way. But the cool thing is that you're using this, like I'm using my tube amp, and this is a 50-watt Mesa Boogie, and they're super loud. They sound great, but they're so loud. And in order to get the tone that these things are known for, you really got to get them up to a certain volume to get those tubes cranking. So right now, I'll have like when I do a full review of this, and on my Monday show, I'm going to go into more detail and show you some of the setup and some really cool stuff with it. But tonight, I just wanted to do a test. But if you could see the close-up of this master volume, I mean, it's not dimed, but it's you know, probably it's at 2 o'clock, so it's up there. If I played with that and then my preamp, there's 3 channels on this amp, and my preamp volumes are all close to halfway up. If I played with this amp with the cab without an insinuator at that level, there's no way you could be in this room because it's way too loud. It's just, you can't do it. But with the attenuation, what it does, it basically drops down in steps. So I feel comfortable at that volume with the settings here with the attenuation on. Today I was tracking guitars, and I was tracking both with my cabinet and with the built-in cabs that are in here for different tracks. And I had it set to 3, the attenuation. So it's kind of middle ground for the attenuation. And it was loud in here still, but bearable, and it was fine. I can bring it down to 2 and 1 and get it really down to like bedroom level, but not lose the tone qualities of that amp at that volume. So that's the really cool part about that setup, right? But having it go direct, it's, I mean, it's nice to go into your interface and have all these cabs and speakers and everything. It's almost like the Helix was very similar. You could go right into the interface. But the cool thing about this is you're using your real amp. There's no amp simulation. So that's the test tonight, is to see how that sounds through the interface and going live through YouTube using that setup. Let me see in the chat here. Mitch Amon, how's it going? See Mitch Amon dropped in here. Gary Holt, how's it going? If it's too loud, you're too old, turn it to... Yeah, I agree, Gary, but I played for so many years as a bass player in a rock band, heavy bands, and I had Ampeg heads with 8x10 cabinets, and I played in front of those things blasting all my life. And after a while, you start to feel it. I'm pretty sure I've got some hearing loss. And you know, as a kid, you go to concerts and everything's super loud. You want to get right up front, and you don't pay attention to what's happening right to your ears. so I'm kind of conscious of that now when I'm playing with gear and being careful as far as getting it too loud. But yeah, I've played. I can't believe that I haven't lost more hearing than maybe I have. I haven't even been tested, but I'm pretty sure I've lost some if I was to go for a test, because many years on the stage blasting, and bass is something that really resonates in your ear, and if you're cranked that loud with that type of wattage behind you, you're gonna feel it. Let's see. Gary says, I've done SPL car audio my entire life. Yeah, my hearing is done. I hear you, brother. So do you have ringing in your ears? I don't have ringing in my ears like all the time, but it does come and go. And recently I've been getting like this, and it just started probably about 1.5 years ago. I get kind of this crackly type of sound in my ear, and my right ear for some reason, and it's almost like there's something there and you just touch your ear to get it out or whatever. But I get that once in a while now, so it doesn't last. Like it'll be there for a couple of minutes and it'll go away, and then it'll come back a little later or something. So I'm sure there's something going on there, but I should probably go and get it checked out, because I'd hate to have something more serious going on there and just ignoring it and not paying attention and not getting it checked out, because, you know, that would suck. So anyway, we'll see, but it's not, I don't have constant ringing, no. Hey Jason, what are you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well and doing some recording. I think he said earlier you were doing some recording, so that's cool. That's cool. So let me try, I'm going to mute my mic again. I'm going to change the rig setting. The problem is that I've got my iPad here for the chat, and the I can't see what cab is going to come up here because I need to see it on the iPad, but I'm pretty sure number 1, 2, and 3 are 412 cabs with different combinations of mics and speakers. Number 4, 5, and 6 are different. A 212, a 110, and a 112, I believe, is what I've got set up right now in there. But I'll have it better set up on Monday to go through and actually show you the interface that I see on the iPad as I'm changing cabinets and mics. So you'll see that happen. So we'll be able to really get a good sense of that. And I also want to do a test running with the cab on and mic through the system so that I can go back and forth and switch it so that you see, well, this is a real, you know, you'll see the Mesa 212 with these settings on this amp, and then I'll put the emulated 212 in here as closely match as I can with an SM57 simulated, and we can go A/B it and see how much of a real difference there is. Because today I was recording with both options and it sounded, you know, pretty damn close to me, and it sounded really good, so I'm impressed so far. Just gonna look at the chat before I do this. Todd says my right ear is worse than my left. Yeah, me too. My right ear, for some reason, and just last couple of years, it's starting to get kind of that crackly sound, which is kind of weird. I do get a little bit. Sometimes you'll be, I don't know, I'm laying in bed or something, and I'll start hearing that high pitch, like just that high pitch sound. But it doesn't last. Like, it'll be there for 15 minutes or something, then it goes away. So I don't know what that means, if it's anything to be concerned. Jason says he's playing his SG. Awesome. I played my SG a little earlier too. I had to do a track. That was my next track that I'm working on is a song by Foreigner, and it's called Double Vision. And it's got some cool guitar, and well, I mean, it's not a hard song, and there's not any, I don't even think there's any lead parts. I'm going to add some of my own, but the rhythm part's really cool. It's nice and heavy, and you know, it's got a really good groove to it. So that's the one that I'm working on. And today I was tracking some guitars in the afternoon, and I did a couple of parts with this guitar and a couple of parts with the SG. And yeah, that SG is amazing. I love that SG. Let's see. Gary Holt says that happens to me in bed, then I realize my wife is screaming at me. Oh God, yeah, that can happen, but that's a little different. All right, let me go through a couple of the settings here, and I'll mute my mic. I'll turn it back on if I need to explain what's going on. But let's put it on setting number 1, which is a 412, I believe. Yeah, that's the 412, and once, if I had the thing in front of me, I could tell you exactly what mics and all that stuff. So let me just mute this mic. Is my vocal mic too loud? It looks like it's okay on the meters, but let me know. It sounds loud for me in my headphones. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. All right, let me turn this down. Am I still on? Yeah, okay, cool. So that was going through just a couple of the rigs that I've got, that I played with. I haven't really set the thing up to my liking as far as all the sounds that I like as far as cabs, but let's see. Yeah, so some of the cabs are really like super close to the real thing, because like I said, I have my Mesa 212 there that is insanely good. I really like it, and I'm able to dial up a tone in here that's pretty close to that, and then add even room mics and things like that. So I think that I'm going to be using that this system a lot in the studio for a lot of the guitar tones that I get. Still want to use the Helix for some things, probably mostly clean stuff. I still find the Helix, like when you're trying to do some clean stuff with some nice chorus or something like that, that you really get a good tone out of that. And I have it, so I might as well use it for that type of thing, because I could get a chorus pedal and some other, you know, things and make it work just using the one system. But I've got the Helix. I bought that, you know, over a year ago, and I've used it a ton of times, and it sounds great, so I'll probably still use it. Let me just go through the chat, see if I missed anything here. Let's see. Let's see, going back in the chat a little bit. Mitch Heyman says, I have hearing loss. Well, I'm older than in 1984. I saw AC/DC, so I blame them. Yeah, maybe AC/DC could have contributed to some of your hearing loss. I'm sure I've never seen AC/DC live. That's one band that I've, in all like growing up and stuff, that I never got a chance to see. I'm sure they're loud. There's no doubt about that. Blackie DH says, digging the Strat. Thanks, man. Yeah, I really like it. I like the feel of it. It's got, like I said, it's got a lot of tonal variants that you can play with. And I didn't have a Strat in my collection, so every time I played guitar, I had my sounds, like all my Les Pauls, SGs type of sound. I had my P90 guitar, which I was used to, and then my Tele was the closest thing that I had to kind of like that single coil twangy type of thing. But it has its own thing. It's not like the Strat. The Strat has its own characteristics, or like it's like so different in the, when you're talking about the single coils and splitting the single coil, or not splitting, but using like two single coils together. It has its own character, and it's very different than the Tele, but I never had that in my collection and in the tools that I use to record. So having it now, it's really opened up a whole lot of stuff. And even just playing with it has inspired me to play some different things that I wasn't really inspired to play as much on my other guitars. It's weird. A guitar can really, it's something like, I pick up a guitar like a Strat and I play a little differently, and I play maybe a little different style, and I kind of branch out a little bit more on maybe more of a bluesy, you know, it's hard to explain. But then I pick up a Les Paul and I play something totally different, vibey. It's more maybe rock heavy tones. It's just that guitar can not dictate what you play, but almost, you know, guide you to a different direction. So it's nice that, not having a Strat ever in my life, I've played them, but I've never really owned one. Having one just for this last week alone, I was playing all kinds of different things and expanding my tonal palette a lot more. So that's a good thing about it, I guess. Todd says, almost Slayer, Brian. Play a bit of Double Vision. Okay, let me see. there's a little bit of double vision. Okay, I think I'm way back in the chat here for some reason. Gussie Wells, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a bit, but nice to see you. Rocky Mountain Way, I played a little bit of that. What else do we have here? Quentin James, how's it going, Quentin? And yeah, okay. I gotta remember, I've got this switch on the ground that mutes my mic and unmutes it, but it doesn't have a freaking light on it. I need a light that says, hey, your mic's on or your mic's off, because I might be talking for a whole 5 minutes sometimes and I don't realize my mic's not even on. Let's see. Janice says I have chorus and delay on my micro cubes. Yeah, I have a Roland. I think that's what your type of amp you're talking about. I have a little Roland amp that's it's called a Cube amp, and it's just really small. I just bring it with me when I travel or something like that, and I need a small amp. But man, these things sound amazing. They got them chorus and delay and flanger and all kinds of stuff in it that's really nice. And then they have a bunch of different settings as far as, you know, really distorted, just classic rock, clean. I think I paid $120 for that. It's an amazing little amp. I like it a lot. Mitch Heyman says, okay, he's talking to Gussie. No. Gussie says, watching Brian's videos is like watching a real TV program. Yeah, I kind of see the goal of doing these types of productions or these shows for me is more like, I appreciate everything that's out there, but I'm trying to be a little different, and I like, you know, doing something that's more, I guess, like challenging in a way for me, and that's adding all these camera angles and maybe a graphic here or there and things like that, right? Just it keeps me, I guess, engaged in producing more than anything, because I need to always be thinking in that way, especially because it is my full-time job as well, right? This type of thing where I'm doing video production and things. So the more I can push myself to trying to, it complicates things for sure, because more things can go wrong because you've got more stuff going on. But you learn a lot more when you're, you know, bringing in more production things into your setup, and you know, I just find it expands the I don't even know what the word would be. Expands your skill set, I guess, more when you can do it. And when you do it live, you actually see if it's going to work, which is another thing, right? And I've done a lot of things that I've pushed some limits and I failed, and you know, it came back to bite me. But listen, I believe in anything you do, whether it's you know, anything, playing guitar or doing photos or video or anything like that. If you want to grow at it, you got to go through that process of, you know, you're going to fail sometimes when you're trying something you're not very comfortable with, or something new, or something you're not really sure of. But I've never shied away from that in the past. I've always, you know, okay, well, if it didn't work out this time, so what did I learn from that experience is more what I take from it. Like, there was a live stream I had to do at work, and it was and it's actually coming back on Monday. I have to do it again, because the one we tried to do in October, and it was a big deal. There was, you know, over I think 1,000 people online waiting while the thing was supposed to start. And I had people in different meeting rooms everywhere, like waiting for this thing to start. I had a Skype guest come in from Ottawa. I had 2 physicians in the studio that were going to be interviewed. I had everything set up, and I did all the testing and everything. This was going to be a real, like, TV production type of thing, a live stream where I was bringing in picture-in-picture and graphics and all kinds of things. It was going to be like a CNN broadcast almost. And 10 minutes before we go live, something happens on YouTube, their server goes down or something, and I'm trying to push the stream live, and it kept giving me an error on YouTube. And all these people are in the chat waiting, and they're saying, what's going on? We were told this started at noon, and because this production that I was putting on is part of the college that I work for, and these people that were there to view it, they were earning credits for this, so it's part of the whole thing, right? It's more than just, oh well, it didn't happen today, so it was. These people had to take time for that broadcast to earn credits towards whatever they were trying to do. So it was a real mess. And at the end of the day, it wasn't my fault. Everything I did on my end, I had figured out, and it was going to work. It was just a YouTube issue that day, and YouTube actually had an outage that day. It was October 16th. I don't know if you guys remember, but YouTube went down worldwide. So, but I didn't know that at the time. I thought it was something I did, and I felt like crap. So within 10 minutes after, we waited, we tried, we kept trying. About 15 minutes in, they called it. They said, well, we can't, because we have, you know, other things that the physicians need to go do or whatever. So everybody leaves the studio, everybody's disappointed, and man, I felt like crap. I thought, geez, what did I miss, right? But, you know, I learned something from that experience. It just taught me that even though it wasn't my fault, it was something that YouTube did, it was still kind of my fault, because if I would have been prepared, I would have probably had a backup plan. Now I do. So what I do now at my work anyway is I stream live to Vimeo, and I stream live to YouTube all at the same time. So if something happens on YouTube that goes down, I can put in the chat, hey, something's happening with YouTube, click on this link, and we're still live streaming on the other platform, on Vimeo. So, but I didn't have that in place at that point. We were just, you know, starting out these types of big productions. So again, it goes with the territory. You sometimes have to fail pretty pretty bad to improve and to learn something for your next venture, right? So this thing that we had to cancel back then, which was a big event, is happening again on Monday. So I'm a little stressed out about it because of what happened. It's not I've done plenty more live streams since then that worked out fine. There's no problems, but man, this one is giving me nightmares. So I just hope to God that Monday everything goes well. Because if it doesn't, man, you might not see me on Monday night. Anyway. Let me see. So that's just a side note here. I'm just going to go back in the chat, see what's going on. Still people talking about hearing loss. Mitch Heyman, your proof age, nothing has to do. Gary Holt says, I've been to many concerts today. Kid has been only concert I can't. Oh, I don't know if you say Kiss. I think you meant to say Kiss was the only concert I've left with my ears ringing. Yeah, that's what I thought you said, Kiss, yeah. Todd says, how would you like to play with Brian Sepps? I would, yeah. This setup here in the studio has taken me quite a while to get and to figure out what I was going to use, because like I said, I started back in music only about a year ago, right in 2018. In January is when I decided, okay, I'm getting back into it, and I want to play guitar now, and I've got to put a lot of effort into it. So I was coming in pretty much, you know, fresh at that point, because I had stopped in 2008. And when I say stopped, I mean I sold every piece of gear I had music-wise. And then in 2009 I bought a guitar just to have in the house, and I hardly ever played it. I mean, I picked it up every, you know, couple of months just to say that I did. But until last year, until January or December 2017, I wasn't doing anything musically. I was focused more on the video production, photography, my career, and that type of thing, right? Because when the band broke up in 2008, it left a real bad taste in my mouth because of the music industry more than anything at that point, because it was really a business for me at that point. We were playing, touring, you know, recording, and it became a business more than a hobby and something fun. And then when it broke up the way it broke up, after all the work that I put into it, and I just felt like, okay, this is really, you know, I worked all my life to get to that point, and then to have it go the way it did, it really, that's when I said, okay, you know, I'm taking a break. And I really did take a break. I, you know, probably a month after that happened in 2008, I had all my stuff listed on eBay. I had like really nice gear. I mean, I had 4 beautiful Ernie Ball basses, I had amps, everything went on eBay, and within a month it was all gone. So That's what I mean. So it's been very new coming back in, and now piece by piece I'm getting the things that I need, that fit my style anyway, that I need for the goal that I have, which is getting back into recording and producing my original music and things like that. So all these tools that I'm getting are part of that journey, right? So but it's, you know, one thing at a time, and you know, if you can afford certain things, you get them, and you know, whatever. I'm not saying you need to buy a Mesa Boogie amp. You can buy whatever and still do whatever you need to do. But it's just a preference thing for me. It's, you know, I probably went through 5 amps last year, and the way that I did it, I went to the music store, I bought it, and with the music store that I usually go to, I have a pretty good relationship with them, and they know that I buy a lot of gear, and so they just say, you know, go try it for 30 days, and if you don't like it, bring it back and we'll get you something else. And that's what I did. And I went through a Marshall, a Vox, I had a Katana for a while, and then I got this amp. So that's how that happens. Let me go back a little bit. Mitch Heyman says, just got a Blackstar ID Core 10, and it's awesome for practice and doing recordings here on YouTube. Yeah, okay, cool. I've never seen that amp, but I'm sure they make some great stuff. I think the guys from Blackstar were originally with Marshall, I believe. Or some guys were with Marshall, and they went and started their own company, and Blackstar became what it is. Blackie DH says, sold every Strat I've owned now, and I need another one, thanks. Yeah, I can do that when you're watching a video or something of a guitar that you might have had, and you sold it, and then you watch a guitar, and all of a sudden it sparks another interest in you. Now you got to get it again, right? So, but I never had a Strat. I told the story about my Strats before. I always liked the Strats. I feel they're very comfortable to play. They've got a lot of tonal to different tones and stuff that you can go through. But my problem with Strats was always where the volume button was, because this one, the volume button's pushed away from this pickup, but on regular Strats, they're right next to the pickup, and I can't play it because my hand, the way that I play, kept hitting that volume, and it just was never comfortable for me. So finding a Strat like this that I can play like I play a Les Paul or anything else, that the controls are not so close to the pickups, was key, right? So that worked out. But I mean, these Friedmans are basically custom shop guitars, right? So it's my one Strat, and that's it. Like, I'm not getting another Strat. This is it. Let's see, Brian Cote, the production level is definitely top shelf. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, production levels, I work hard at it, and it's not all about that. It's just about to see what I can do and basically make it more interesting for you guys too, right? Because if I can do something a little different than say what you're used to, then it makes it more interesting to watch sometimes too. So, and it gives other people ideas of, oh, maybe I can try that. And I get ideas from other YouTubers all the time. I watch tons of content, and I see, oh, that's a different camera angle, or how he's lighting that different. And I come from that background, right, with photos and videos. So I'm always paying attention to those details, like the lighting, the camera angle, the sound, all that stuff. I'm paying attention to that as I'm watching some of these live streams, and if something catches my eye, I'm going, wow, okay, that's interesting. I didn't think about doing it that way. So then I want to go to try it myself to see if it'll work in my setup and with the type of show that I'm trying to put on. So it's all part of the process, let's say. Gary Holt says, I'm watching Deadpool 2 with my headphones on, and Brian Cote is total time with his playing. Okay. Gary, okay, I'm just trying to catch up with the chat, guys. Give me just 1 second here. Professional quality, thank you. Gary Holtz says, my wife was looking at me weird while I'm bobbing my head in the kitchen. Well, I'm glad you're getting a good quality sound that you can, bob your head to. Cool, cool. I'm just gonna try to get down to the bottom of this chat here. Lots of good comments and lots of positive stuff going on. Do you know any Slayer? I only know, I think, one or two or something like that. Let me see. I think I forgot it. Hold on. Wow, I completely forgot it. I was playing it just the other day. You know what? There's two songs that Slayer do that are so similar that I keep mixing up. Like one is Angel of Death, I believe, and the other one is Seasons. And they have that. Okay, hold on. It's going to drive me nuts because I knew this song, and it's going to drive me nuts. So I will play it. Trust me. That's so funny that I can't remember that riff. Just going through and trying to catch up with the chat as well here because I've been playing and I've not been looking at the chat. Blackie says, Brian Cote, I live 15 minutes from Sweetwater. I try stuff all the time. Yeah. Okay, I'm still, yeah, Sweetwater looks like a really awesome store. I want to get there for sure. I'm trying to, I'm going to try to get there this summer at their event that they have, the Gear Fest or something like that. I definitely want to go for that. But, you know, that can be dangerous too because you go to a place like Sweetwater and they're having their big specials and stuff and they've got every piece of gear known to man. So you can probably spend money that you don't want to, you're not intending to spend, right? But I definitely want to go. I've seen some video of that store and it looks amazing. Okay, cool. I think I'm at the bottom here. Yes, thrash, it's an attenuator. I think I missed the trash metal. Is that one of those attenuators effect modelers built in with a tablet control? Okay, yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is called the Aux Box. It's made by Universal Audio. There's tons of videos of it online if you want to have a closer look. I will be doing more of a demo of it on my Monday night show at 7:30, where I'll show you the interface and stuff. But that's exactly what it is. It's an attenuator. It's a reactive load, so it basically loads down your amp so that you can run it without a cabinet, or with a cabinet you can turn down to different levels. And then it has speaker and mic emulation in the digital out that you can use, which is what I'm using here. That's going digitally out of this box, but it's still my amp. The amp is doing all the work basically, and then the speaker emulation and mics are giving you the sound. So that's what that is. Hope that answers your question there, Thrash Metal, and thanks for joining. I didn't see you there in the chat before now. Pork Chop TV or Pork Chop SRV. Oh, sorry. Yeah, how are you, buddy? Just going back. Me and Kramer are hitting up local guitar show next weekend. Oh, cool. Should be cool. I'd like to go to a California guitar show, that's for sure. It probably has some really nice stuff. Pork Chop SRV says, I've only got 9 guitar centers close to me in Houston. Wow. I've only been to one guitar center. I go to Vegas every year, first week of April usually. It's like the event that I go to in Vegas is basically the same thing as NAMM, but for video, for cameras, and So all of Hollywood and all the big producers and all the camera manufacturers and all the live streaming equipment manufacturers and all the lighting companies and audio companies, they all go there. And the show is called NAB. And it's the biggest show of its kind in the world for that industry. So I go there for a week in April every time. And when I go there, I go to the Guitar Center that they have in Vegas. And that's the only one I've ever been to. And it's all right. I don't know. It's a nice store, but I find that to go in there and to try things and stuff, it wasn't that friendly, I guess, of an environment, or there was too many other people trying stuff, and it was kind of, and then you went into the real, like, where all the nice Les Pauls and the PRSs and everything were. They have a different room, and I went in there and I wanted to try a PRS 594 and not tried it, but you can't even take them off the wall and try them. They're kind of, they've got this thing and it's locked, and you got to go get a sales guy and get them to unlock it, and then you can, so that's the type of store. Because the store I go to here in my neck of the woods, which is called Cosmo, and they sell a lot of stuff, and they've got some nice high-end stuff, Friedmans and SMEERs and some nice Les Pauls and stuff, and they have a separate room for that stuff, but nothing's locked down. You can walk in there and pick up any guitar you want, and they've got amps there, and you plug in and go to town and play. But I found that weird at that Guitar Center that I went to in Vegas, and that's the only one I've ever been to. Let's see. Todd says, don't bring your wallet for the Sweetwater event. Yeah. Gary Holt says, my autocorrect is horrible tonight. Thrash Metal says, Oxbox saw a live demo from NAMM to the, yeah, they did a lot of demos at NAMM about it. I did a cover of Seasons of the Abyss plus a full band reunion jam 99 and the studio alternate mix with keyboards and different, wow. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff there. Rick Hafner, how's it going? We got 17 people, wow. Okay. Again, this wasn't a planned stream. It was just, I need to go on and do some testing, so it's nice to see some people in here. Gussie says, trying to convince Buddy to head to NAMM next year. Yeah, that'd be a nice trip, you know, and go out there for a week or so and go to NAMM and experience that whole show, and then do some other, and you're right there in the LA area. I guess everything's, you know, in that general area, so you go even see some concerts or, you know, experience that part of the world, right? So I'm sure it's not cheap though, but so it'd be a nice little vacation. Just looking here. Rick Hafner says, I wish notifications work better. I'm so tired of missing live streams. Yeah, it's been like that for a while with YouTube notifications. I find sometimes I get them and sometimes I don't. And even for this one, like I said, it wasn't a planned thing. I just went on my YouTube channel and just hit go live via my computer here with my system. So it wasn't like a planned event, so maybe that had something to do with it. And when I went live, it didn't send out notifications. It just, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, right? I'm just looking at some of the comments here, if there's anything I missed. Rick Hefner says, hi Brian, I'm really well, hope you're the same. Yes, all good here. All right, I gotta figure this stupid Slayer song because it's gonna drive me nuts. Give me 1 second here. That's incredible. I forgot that riff. That is insane. All right, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that, but it's driving me nuts. I know the riff. I was playing it just the other day and it was awesome. I loved it. Why can't I remember that? I think I need to hear the song in my head because I'm thinking of another, like, I'm thinking of... think I'm thinking of that, and it's not what I'm trying to play. I'm trying to play the other one, which is kind of the same. Something like that, right? But they're the same. I don't know. I'm getting mixed up. I need to hear the song in my head, and then I'll be I'll be okay. See my cover of South of Heaven or pull up on my stream. Yeah, I'll check it out, Trash. I'll definitely do that. The Pork Chop SRB says, I think Steve from Boston is going to the Dallas Guitar Show. I'm thinking of going so I can meet him. I don't know if he's going this year to the Dallas Guitar Show. He mentioned on his stream that he did last week, or on Saturday, that he wasn't sure if he was going to go because I think he's planning to go to Summer NAMM. So, but I could be wrong. He went last year, I know. Steve from Boston, he would be awesome dude to have a beer with. Yeah, he seems like a fun guy. Todd says, make us sit, Brian. It's cool, buddy. No, that's frustrating that I cannot. The riff is similar to Dead Skin Mask. You're mixing. That's right. I'm mixing Raining Blood with Dead, and I need. It's in my head now. I can't. I need to hear Raining Blood, and if I hear it, then I'll know exactly what to do. But I can't get it in my head for some reason. That's exactly what it is. Those two riffs. I can't do it. I gotta hear the song. I gotta hear the song. Sorry, guys. There's another song that I wanted to maybe cover. I think it's this one. Thinking of doing that song, but I don't know. I'll have to see if the other thing I do. Oops, sorry. The other thing I do is when I pick a song, I go on the YouTube music policies to see if it's even allowed, because sometimes the artist doesn't want you to do anything with it. Sometimes they'll say yes, you can do a cover of it, share the revenue and all that stuff. That's fine. But there was a song by Soundgarden that I really wanted to do, and I know the song and everything, and I was planning to do it for the next cover song that I release. Then I checked on the YouTube policy, and all Soundgarden songs are no-go. Like, they don't want you can't use any of it. So that sucked. So I can't do that one. So that's why I'm going to do the Foreigner song next, and then I'm looking for some other possibilities. And then I got to start doing all the original stuff that I'm planning to do. I'm still writing, so I'm not ready to start tracking that stuff yet. What was it that I wanted to say about that? Oh, the Soundgarden thing is weird because on the YouTube policies it says that it's not allowed at all, but then if you do a search, let's say Soundgarden, and there's other bands that are covering it, you see a live performance from a cover band in a bar, and they're playing it, and they're not getting banned or muted or anything like that. So I don't know if I should risk it and just do it and post it and see what happens. The worst that'll happen, I guess they'll just take it down, or they'll say, you know, it's not allowed, or mute it or whatever. But I kind of find that weird that all Soundgarden songs they're not allowing. In the music policy search anyway, it says that. But if you search Soundgarden on YouTube, you see that there's other people that perform that, you know, different songs of theirs, and they're not getting banned or getting pulled off. So it's weird. It's a weird one. I have to check that out. Guitar Hack, how's it going, buddy? Hope you feeling a little better. Saw your stream a little earlier. Nice guitar. I hope you like it. It's I know what you mean though. It's definitely a different beast, right? So it's something you're going to have to try, and trying to in with your band as well, and with your setup and your pedals and all that stuff to see if it's going to work, right? Because it's a different thing than what you're used to, right? So, but it's a beautiful guitar. I like it. I like the style. It's nice. It's nice. And I've seen them before. I think I've picked one up before just to kind of play, but I never really, you know, I wasn't interested in buying it, so I didn't really give it a chance. So I just kind of strummed a few chords on it and I put it back up, and didn't really think about it after that. But I've heard a lot of good things about those guitars, so hope it works for you. But again, if it doesn't, you got nothing to lose, right? You can take it back and get a Les Paul if you want. Janice, how's it going? I think I saw you there earlier, but if I didn't, I'm saying hi right now. Gary Holt says, if you're on your phone, you need to choose to allow YouTube to send notifications all the time. Oh, okay. So maybe it's something that some people need to do manually on their settings to say allow. Yeah, well, you see that on all kinds of apps. When you install an app, it says, do you want to allow notifications from this app? So I suppose it's the same type of deal, right? But I think in YouTube in general, I subscribe to a lot of channels and I hit the bell thing so to make sure that I get notified. And there's been a few that have gone live and I never even knew about it. I saw it after the fact. I saw, oh, these guys went live, so I watch it after, but it doesn't always work. So YouTube is not perfect in that regards. Todd says, I used to mix up Sanitarium and Fade to Black. Yeah, you would, because it's the same. Hold on, it's the same. Let me just see. Yeah, let me see if I can play the two and you'll see what I mean, that they're very similar and you could definitely mix them up. Something like that, right? So they're both in B, and there's also I can't remember now. Right, so Metallica seems to do a lot of that. Like they like that key. But yeah, but that Slayer thing is really screwed me up. I can't believe I don't remember that riff. It's one of those things you need to hear the song again, and then you kind of figure it out, because they're so close to other things, and then you start thinking two of the same song, and then you mix up and then it doesn't work at all. You're all over the place. I Rock the Blues, how's it going? What was that song? What song? I'm not sure what song you're talking about. I mix up, there we go. We got that. I'm just catching up, guys. Fell on Black Days. Yeah, I don't know that song. I know there was another song I wanted to do by Temple of the Dog, I believe. I think it's, what is it called? Say Hello to Heaven, I believe. So that's the one I know from Temple of the Dog, I believe. Heavy metal, yeah. Heavy metal was this one. I like that. I like that riff. I just saw the replay. Blah blah blah. I like a lot of Billy Squier music, and Billy Squier is awesome. I don't know any of it though. I can't think of anything that right off the bat. Even if I don't know a song, I can if I hear it in my head, I can pretty much do it or figure it out quickly. But nothing's coming to mind right now for Billy Squier. Just catching up here. Gussie says, Brian, favorite mic to record guitars. My favorite mic to record guitars is the SM57. I've never tried like really the high-end ribbon mics and things like that. I've tried them in studios, like when we recorded at Metalworks and stuff. They had all that stuff there, but that's quite a while ago. You're talking 2005 area, that area. I'm sure they're fine, but for me, in the studio environment here that I have, and in other times that I've recorded guitars, I've always liked the SM57. It gives you that that mid-range that's really needed as far as carrying a guitar tone in a mix. So that's the one I use here. I have a couple of condenser mics and things as well that I could try, but I seem, once I find my tone and my sound that really works for me, I stick with it. I don't mind trying different things, but for the most part I stick, like once I find it takes me a while to find it, but once I find it, I kind of stick in that range. So the SM57 would probably be my answer to that one. Just going back up here. Guitar Hack says, I will say the neck is damn fast though. Yeah, that neck on your new guitar seems like a thinner or smaller neck, so it's probably nice to shred. Hunger Strike, yeah, I remember that song too. I Rock the Blues says, Brian, have you ever tried the riff from Kid Rock song called Cocky? It's cool. I know what you're talking about. I just don't have, I've never tried, I don't think I've ever tried it, but I'm trying to remember the song. Again, I'd have to hear the song to say if I've ever tried the riff. Can't think of it right off the top of my head right now, no. I'm so far behind vids, I gotta get caught up. Yeah, you know what, it's hard. I'm subscribed to so many YouTube channels now in the guitar world that, and every day there's stuff being posted, so it's hard to keep up, because only got so many hours to. I kind of dedicate a few hours here and there for catching up on content and research and work, but I also like to get in the studio and play and record and stuff. So I try to limit some of that stuff, because you can get down a rabbit hole pretty fast when you start streaming and you start looking at all the streams, and before you know it, 3-4 hours have gone by and all you've done is watch YouTube, right? So I try to be conscious of that, and there's some shows that I like to go to all the time and to support all, like Guitar Hack. I like to go to his all the time, and Ben's and things like that. But there's a lot of other ones that are there that I watch as well that I just can't do it live all the time. I've got to structure my time a little bit. So, but it's hard. There's so much content out there now. It's really hard to try to follow everybody and catch every live show. It's really, but you have the replays, and you can go through those ones and catch the stuff that you need to watch. Gussie says, I like the 57 too. Yeah, that's been my go-to. Guitar Hack says 57 for him as well. Gussie says, microphones are also dangerous rabbit hole to explore. Yeah, see, I kind of, microphones for me are something that I find a few that really do what I'm looking for, and I kind of stick with it. Otherwise, you could go pretty far into a whole different world when it comes to microphones, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go down that road. I've got enough with just guitar tone wise. I've gone down quite the rabbit hole with pedals and helix and these amps and these load boxes, and you know, it's one thing after the other to get to this position as far as being happy with a tone and having enough tools at your disposal to say that, okay, I'm ready to start recording and get everything that I'm looking for as far as the sound. So, but mics, yeah, they're definitely a different world. Brian, do you know To the Moon? That's a, yeah, Megadeth song. I don't think I know that one. Megadeth, I know, I think. Something like that. I can't remember right off the bat there. I used to play a lot of Megadeth when I was a bit, well, when I played bass, we played, you know, Peace Sells, Who's Buying, and a bunch of songs off those first couple of, their first albums. So I think the other one, My Darkest Hour, was an awesome song. I love playing that song. But yeah, I don't remember that. My Darkest Hour was a really good one. Can't remember it now. So yeah, can't remember, but that was a great song. It is a great song, I should say. Appreciate your support, Brian. Yeah, no problem, Guitar Hack. Always willing to support good content. Mark Dillon, how's it going? Nice to see you. ZZ Top. Yeah, I know some ZZ Top, I think. Some ZZ Top for you, per request by I Rock the Blues. Guitar Hack says, bought one cheap at last week's sale. Oh, the SM57, yeah. Yeah, you can get them, they're not that expensive. They're so common too, they're used everywhere, so you can pick them up for, I get pretty good deals. I think I paid just over $100 for mine, and it's brand new. So they're great mics. Danny Allen, I watched replays at 125 or at 1.5 speed. Yeah, that's a good idea if you want to get through some of these live streams that you've missed. Just, you know, change the speed, and you can get through them a little quicker, right? I do that with podcasting. I listen to a lot of podcasts, you know, in my commute and stuff like that. I like to have that on in my truck. So sometimes I'll put it on the 1.5 speed just to, you know, get through them faster. You still get all the content, and then you hear it is just a little bit higher pitched than the person speaking. That's all. That's all that is. There we go. Just checking stuff out. Good tune. My Darkest Hour. Yeah, I was just looking back here, see if I missed anything. Getting a little better with following the chat and trying to get through, but I only got 15 people in here, so it's not off, you know, that crazy to follow, but I can't imagine following hundreds of people. Marsman, how's it going? Nice to see you. I guess I'm old. When someone says play ZZ Top, I whip out Nasty Dogs and Funky Kings. Yeah, I know a lot of ZZ Top, but it takes me a minute to kind of get them back into the noggin. Try to remember some of the older ones, right? Track almost 30 years ago, did vocals. Oh, I think Trash Metal is talking about the SM57. Brown Sugar, yeah, I used to know that. SOD. Rick Effner says I use a couple of Pile SM58 copies and they work just fine. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of there's even SM57 copies out there, I think, on Amazon. I think there's a couple of YouTubers that did some video reviews on them, and they're great. They work fine. There's no problem at all. And I think they're like $40 maybe, if that. So there's options out there now as far as microphones go. Now, I don't know, you know, how good they are long term. You know, in a couple of years, if they're still going to be okay if you use them every day or a lot of times. I don't know. But yeah, there's different companies and making different clones, right? Denny Allen says, my guitar is tuned down a whole step, so my 5th fret capo would be my 3rd fret while standard tuning. Okay. Yeah, and the other thing that I got a few weeks ago that I've been using quite a bit is my pedal, the drop, where I can change my tunings just by pressing the pedal. I don't use it like for, let's say I'm tracking a song, I'm recording a song or something, and I want to record it a half step down. I'll just tune my guitar a half step down and do it that way instead of using the pedal. But I love having that pedal because as I'm just looking for songs to maybe cover or to jam with and stuff, you know, there's all kinds of, sometimes they're half step down, sometimes they're regular tuning or whatever. So just having that pedal there and saying, oh, this one's half step down, I'll just press it, and then you can jam along with the song without, you know, going through the whole process of tuning your guitar down for no reason, just for that one song, right? So I really like that pedal. It's pretty versatile for that. And but like I said, I don't use it as a recording tool. Like I wouldn't say, okay, I want to be half step down for this song, so let me press that pedal, and then I track all my guitars using the pedal half step down, because I still feel that not a whole lot, but sometimes you'll hear a digital artifact with it because it is doing a conversion, a digital conversion. So I'd rather just tune my guitar properly and then track the guitar through the recording software that way. But just for jamming and stuff and doing stuff just to kind of get inspiration and seeing how a riff would sound in drop D or C or something without having to change anything, it's perfect for that. So it's a great studio tool, in my opinion, for those types of things. It's very convenient to use something like that. Well, that's what I do when I need to tune something differently. Like I said, just for like a quick tune. Porkchop TV says, what pedal is that? It's called the drop. It's Digitech makes it. So just do a search on Google, type in Digitech Sorry, I can't speak tonight. Digitech Drop, and it's a pedal. It's a big red pedal, and it has only one knob on it. And what you do is you just go through the knob and you go one step, whole step, you know, whole 2 steps. So you can really go down really low on it. Like let me show you. If I hold on, I got to move over a little bit because the pedal's over here. So right now I'm tuned standard. Right? So now if I want to go half step down, I'll hit the chord and I'll hit the pedal and you'll hear it drop. So now I'm a half step down. Sorry, I need to tune this thing. I've got new strings on her, and sometimes I've been playing it all day, so hold on. Okay, my G's. There you go. That's kind of a demonstration of the Digitech drop pedal. So it's so fun to have, just to kind of go through some different tunings, right? So yeah, if you're looking for something like that, just look for Digitech drop. Van Halen, yeah. Van Halen's tuned half step down, so that's why it's nice to have that pedal. If you want to jam with some Van Halen songs, you just hit that and go to town, right? Can I say something funny in French? Funny, I don't know what you consider funny. Oui, je parle bien en français souvent. What can I say in French? I need a sentence. Give me a sentence. I'm trying, I don't know. Give me something to say. Dang. I can dig it. I've got different guitars tuned standard and EB, so this would be great. Yeah, it's nice to have that different tuning here and there. And what it does, it basically it inspires you to try different things. So you want to try something in drop C, and sometimes a cool riff will come out because you're hearing that tone, right? So that's what's cool about it. Little Guns N' Roses, awesome tone. Thank you. Hey Gary, thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good night. D standard, you can do some Sepultura, yeah. Fromage, yes, fromage is cheese. Gary's drummer Paul Stash has a channel with GoPro drums on stage. Cool. Also, Dave Lombardo was awesome. Oh my God, that's a great drummer. I saw him play with Slayer a few times, and my God, that guy is amazing. I don't know. I don't even. Is he still with? Is he touring with Slayer right now? I don't know. I know he left the band and came back and left and came back, but I think he's still with them now on their current tour, or if they're still touring. I know they had some issues there. Thanks for the demo. Yeah, no problem, man. La plume, the feather, yes. Tabarnak. Yeah, I don't know if I can swear in French on YouTube, and if YouTube would flag it or something. I don't even know. Like, do they even care if you swear on YouTube? I'm sure they don't, but they kind of probably rate your footage or something. I don't know. Killer stream, buddy. Enjoyed it. Hey, thank you guys. Again, this wasn't a planned stream. It was just a quick test to see if this aux box into my interface going through YouTube Live was going to sound okay, and what I needed to do with my iPad and all that, so I can show you guys a full demo on Monday. So yeah, Monday night, 7:30, I'll have it more set up, and I'll have more of a demo for you, and that's a scheduled show, so happens every Monday night. So tonight was just a quick one. Prusa Studios, how's it going? Swear away. Yeah, swear away. I guess. I don't know. Tabarnak, the calice. You could say that, I suppose, in French. There you go, a little strat action. I like that tone. This one. So this is the humbucker here. You're probably hearing the pick noise with my mic still on, but the one, I guess it's this pickup only, the center one. If I flick the switch, so you have humbucker. Then you got more noise obviously when you go to single coil, but you get that kind of. Then you got the middle one. I gotta shut my mic off because you're gonna hear all that picking. There you go. You can do a lot with this Strat. It's nice to have one in the studio now because I can reach for it anytime I need it, and again, it's a great tool. And it plays nice. I mean, it's so comfortable. I think out of all my guitars, sitting down with a guitar, the position and I guess the balance and the way they're made, I think the Strat is the most comfortable as far as, you know, in a seated position anyway. Standing up, I can do Les Pauls all day, no problem. SGs, Tellies, no problem. Tellies and Strats for me are more comfortable sitting wise when I'm sitting playing. But yeah, this is perfect because it's got, you know, the belly cut type thing. It's got your arm arch. The, you know, the rest of the guitar body kind of just fits where it needs to be. So I always found that with Strats, that they're the best playing guitars as far as when you're sitting down. Still sounds romantic because it's French. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing French people have. They've got that tone, I suppose. Quand on parle en français, on feel plus sophisticated. Is that I don't know what sophisticated in French mean. It would be plus. I don't know what the French. I'd have to check that. Somebody put the French. If somebody knows French, what is sophisticated in French? What is that exactly? Mais je sais quand on parle en français, on est plus, on file plus propre. À moins qu'on parle en chien, puis on parle d'enfants de chienne, puis des affaires de même, on parle plus comme ça, là, mais si on est plus romantique, on vient plus sophisticated. There you go. There's a little French for you. I don't speak a lot of French on my live stream. So, Soda Pop says Brian is a killer guitar player for bass player. Yeah, exactly. I'm just a bass player trying to make my way through a guitar, trying to make my way through guitar playing. So that's what that's all about. Hack will hack. Yep. So let me just go get down here, and then I'm gonna sign off because I know Ben is going on in a minute or so. So I don't want to step on his stream as well. Pusa says, I love how French sounds. Yeah, I do too. I speak a lot of French, and my wife and I are both from a small town in New Brunswick, and we grew up, you know, both our families and stuff were completely bilingual, but when we're together all the time, like in the house and stuff, we primarily speak French to each other. So yeah, it's just, I grew up in a bilingual type of town, so I could go from English to French with no problem. And I went to both high schools. I switched high schools. I went English high school for a few years, and then the hockey team that was in the French high school, or the French high school, had a better hockey team, and I wanted to play with them, so I switched to their school for hockey. But I had no problem with French or English at all, because that's how we grew up. Both my parents were my dad always spoke English to me, and my mom spoke French, so you kind of grow up with both of them, right? So that's pretty much all I have for tonight, and you should take over this time slot, buddy. Cheers. Well, I've got my time slot in on Monday nights at 7:30, so I'm going to stick with that. I do go live during the week if I need to test something, or I always check first to make sure that none of the other people from the community and stuff are streaming, so not to go on at the same time as other people. So if I'm trying to test something and I see nobody else is on, then I'll go on like tonight, and I did last Wednesday as well. But I don't always go like 2 nights a week. So my Monday show, I'm trying to keep that a regular thing at 7:30. So that's where that sits. Pusa says New Brunswick. Andrew is from Gaspé. Yeah, I know that Andrew said that he was from that area, and that he had traveled through like St. Leonard, which is just a few kilometers from Grand Falls, which is where I grew up. So he knows the area. So yeah, that's cool. Bonne nuit. Yes, good night, everybody. And I'll definitely see you guys on other streams. I'm sure we all participate in the community, and we're all doing our part to support each other. And that's all I got for you tonight. So thank you again for jumping in on this unscheduled event, or stream, I should say. And I'll have more information on the setup and some stuff on Monday that I've got planned for you. So 7:30 on Monday, if you guys want to jump in, I'd be more than happy to have you guys here, and I can answer more questions, and we'll go through some more stuff with the gear, and we also talk about some news and things that are going on in music. So it'll be a lot of fun. All right. So let me switch to my other camera here to say goodbye, and then we'll catch you guys in another stream for sure. So there it is. Thanks, guys, and we'll catch you next time. All right. Have a good night.